Well, it's a stormy day, rainy in Hamilton today. It's supposed to be nice for game day tomorrow. Hey, everybody, Morley Scott along with Dave Campbell at Tim Hortons Field here in Hamilton. Surprisingly, I can't find a coffee up here in the press box right now. Dave, Eskimos and TiCats tomorrow. First off, some changes. For the first time in his Eskimo career, Pat Watkins will not play in a football game.
Which is shocking because he has gone through his fair share of nicks, bumps, bruises, especially this season. I mean, he was hurt week 2 of training camp, missed over a week of action, and he's been dealing with the knee problem ever since. But finally, it's going to knock him out of the game. So Gary Peters, who we have seen in the secondary quite a bit, is going to start at the short side corner position. And then Nate Kuhorn, who got hurt on Wednesday or Tuesday in practice, he's out with a suspected right arm injury. So Devin Bailey is going to get his another start at receiver. So a big game for him as well. And for the Eskimos, they are fortunate too because J.C. Sheridan and Darius Bowman didn't practice on Tuesday, but they practiced on Wednesday.
And they should be good to go for the football game on Friday. It's a big game for both these clubs. There's all sorts of playoff ramifications between these two clubs, more for the Eskimos than there are for the TiCats. You can only finish in first or second in the East.
Yeah, that's right. So the TiCats, obviously, they still have their designs on first place in the East, and they got to win to keep those playoff hopes alive. For the Eskimos, their most likely scenario is the crossover, but there is a chance to finish in the West still. If they win on Friday, it's still a chance for them to put a little bit more pressure on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the BC Lions, who are playing the Red Blacks and the Saskatchewan Roughriders, respectively. But their likely scenario is probably going east.
And they still could host a home game in the playoffs, but that's a long shot. The Eskimos would have to win both their games. BC would have to lose both their games, and Winnipeg would have to lose both their games.
Got the calculators out there.
A lot of stuff's going to have to fall into place for that to happen. What might be a pretty likely scenario, Dave, is that we're right back here in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, and asking Ken Austin about that scenario, the head coach of the TiCats, he said, we're not really thinking about that right now. It is in the back of their minds because a couple of the players admitted there is a game within the game here. But for both teams, it's more about worrying about themselves than a potential playoff opponent.
First up, though, it's this week's game. We have the pregame show for you, 3:30 on 6:30 CHED. We'll kick it off with the Eskimos and the TiCats from, it should be a nice dry Hamilton by this time tomorrow. 5 o'clock kickoff on 6:30 CHED.